are you stupid? Or like, you stupid go back to your country. Like,
oh my goodness.
People are so rude. People are so mean. They say, first of all, everything happens for a reason. And second of all, everything is going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
Yeah.
And if you trust in these two things, I think nothing can happen to you.
Cool. Very beautiful saying. Are you Christian or something?
Not at all. I'm not religious. I'm not spiritual. And I don't go to church. I've been to church twice in my life. So I'm not spiritual. I'm not religious. But this is the learning from my past years.
Nice. Very beautiful. Hello, 大家好，我是叶子。今天这期视频非常的特别。这期视频是我之前采访一位长期居住在新加坡的瑞士女孩的一段采访。她是谁呢？她的名字叫 Marion。她在新加坡也是一个 YouTube 的博主。非常巧合的一个机缘，是我的一位观众给我发来的邮件，发了一条关于她的制作的视频给我看。我看了以后，我就非常的觉得有意思。于是我决定我要采访他，我就给他发了邮件，没想到他回复的非常的快。他回复我的时候，他正好是在回瑞士过圣诞节的期间啊，然后我们很快就通过邮件，然后又加了 WhatsApp， 然后就这样联系上了。那么为什么我要采访他呢？因为他对新加坡的认识和看法，真的我觉得和我比较接近，而且他说了很多实话，让很多还没有去新加坡或者对新加坡不了解的人，会帮他们解除一些顾虑吧。他的视频也非常的有意思，有很多街头采访的视频。如果你们对他这个频道有兴趣，你也能听得懂英文的话，我鼓励大家可以去关注一下他的 YouTube 频道，包括他的 IG 也都可以去关注一下。那么如何采访进行来采访呢？我提出了一个建议，我说这样，我们把这个采访当作游戏一样，你问我5个问题，我问你5个问题，这5个问题对方都必须要回答。然后我们俩聊了1个多小时，时间过得非常快，就是聊不完的话，聊了1个多钟头，非常的愉快，非常的顺利。当时他是在瑞士在过圣诞节过新年，现在他应该人已经回到了新加坡。其中有一个问题我觉得非常的有意思，就是我问他中国人跟新加坡人有什么区别，他并不是很就是他不太明白中国人跟新加坡人有什么区别，因为在英文单词里面都是 Chinese 嘛，对吧？所以我觉得外国人还是有很多地方需要了解中国这个 mainland Chinese 和这个 Singaporean 这个 Chinese 的区别是在什么地方的。他也在采访中提到，回答问题的时候提到，他对很多新加坡人不会说中文而感到很吃惊。其实这一点可能他对新加坡的历史还不够了解。我其实是担心新加坡会越来越失去这个语言啊。其实现在很多新加坡人真的是他们能听懂，但他们一般不怎么太常用中文，老一辈可能会多一点了。由于我们聊了1个多小时嘛，时间非常的长，所以我今天就剪了我问他的那5个问题。如果你也想看他问我的5个问题我是怎么回答的，这样我会看一下本期视频的播放效果。如果点赞数超过2000个，评论数超过1000个，那么我就把这个他问我的5个问题，然后我是怎么回答的，另外再做一期视频呈现给大家。那么闲话少说，我们看视频，看采访。
Yeah, that's so cool. Where are you now?
I'm in Canada.
Wow, okay. Where about in Canada?
How much you know about Canada?
Okay, just quick question. Is the light and like the quality more or less okay? Because it's so dark and I have like not the best lighting in here.
I think you look okay.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Okay, great.
You are still very white.
Yeah. Well, glad to hear like not that Asian yet.
Yeah, not yet.
So what about Canada? Basically Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, but that's about it.
Yeah, so I live somewhere that probably you never heard before. I live in a province called Manitoba, which is the center of Canada. And I live in the city of Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard about Winnipeg before?
Not yet. Now is the first.
Have you ever heard Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
That's where it's from. The name is from Winnipeg, actually.
Okay, that's where the movie takes place, basically.
Well,
That's
no, it's not the movie take place, but Winnie the Pooh, the name is because the city of Winnipeg.
Oh my God, I didn't know. Now I learned something new.
Yeah.
Is it very cold there right now?
Today, this year actually is not bad at all. This year is a very warm winter, but usually January and February will be the coldest. We could get minus 30 to 40. Yes, Winnipeg is one of the coldest cities in the world. And then with the wind, you can feel like minus 50, which we say is the same temperature like in Mars.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We cannot leave the house.
No. We still go outside. It's very dry here, so if you put more layers on, you're fine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you live there full time?
Yes. Right now, this is my home. My citizenship is Canadian, so this is my home now.
Yeah. Okay. But you used to live in Singapore.
I was 24 years old. I went to Singapore for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I worked there for 6 months. You know, the WP work permit usually is just for 6 months. So I had to return to China, and then I went back again, work again in 2010.
Do you miss Singapore?
Oh yeah, like my audience, they all know like I love Singapore. Even now, if there's a chance, I tell my audience, if Singapore give me the passport, I'll give up Canadian ones. I'm gonna move to Singapore tomorrow. Yes.
Okay, don't tell this to the Canadian government.
Well, it's okay. They don't care. Canada has too many newcomers.
Okay.
They don't need one more or not. Yeah, I love Singapore. Singapore actually changed my life. I think it's really opened my eyes about the world. I think it's very cool.
Yeah. And okay, so but you're not planning to go back
to Singapore?
Yeah.
I hope so, but it's very hard to move to another country now. And if there's an opportunity, yes, of course. How's your Christmas going?
Good. Yeah, I arrived 24th of December, and we celebrated the 24th, and 25th and 26th is the most the busiest day to celebrate. And I really love spending time with my mom and my brother, and seeing all my family and friends. So it's really nice to catch up.
Yeah, you haven't been back for a long time, right?
I've been back in summer.
Oh, in summer, okay.
In summer for a week, and then we went to France with my family, and my mom visited me in Singapore in October. But I think, the plan is to keep visiting Switzerland twice a year, once in summer and then for Christmas.
How did you feel about wearing a sweater again?
So not happy about it. I'm very, I know that I've been complaining too much, and I have to apologize to my mom all the time because I'm not a person who complains a lot. But honestly, since I landed in Singapore, I've been so annoyed. And I think everyone around me is annoyed by me complaining about the weather because it's so cold and I struggle so much and I'm missing the weather so much.
Is your mom there?
My mom is in the living room and she hears my apology. Mom, I'm very sorry for complaining all the time. Okay.
But Mom, she's right. She's not wrong at all.
Who's not right?
You are right. You are not wrong at all. Yeah, I love the heat in Singapore. Like that's one big reason I want to live there. Like I'm a lazy person. I don't need to change. I just have shirt, shorts, slippers, done.
I always say one of the reasons why I love Singapore so much is the weather. For me, this is life quality.
Yeah. And then imagine if you live here, minus 30, 40, like
I couldn't.
This is not a place human beings should live. Like why we choose a place? It's very flat. There's no mountains, so the wind is very bad here.
You can see.
Yeah.
Pros and cons everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your first language? German or French? German, okay.
Yeah, I'm from Zurich.
Yeah, I feel like your last name is pretty German.
Müller. It's the most Swiss last name you can get. Every second person in Switzerland is called Müller.
Okay. Okay, so you ready for this?
Yes.
I don't do homework, but I did write down some questions. I only had 4. Like maybe I add another one. Okay. So who's gonna ask first? You go first or I go first?
You go first.
Why not lady first?
I don't know.
Okay, I go first. Okay. First of all, thank you for taking this time with me. And I didn't expect you to reply my email that fast, and I didn't expect this happening so smoothly. So thank you very much. Okay. Danke.
My pleasure. Oh, and thank you.
Okay. So, first question. So before you went to Singapore, you must did a lot of research because, you're academic based. I think you must did lots of research by yourself. And then you arrived in Singapore. And then now you've been there for 2 years, I think, right? So what's the biggest difference that you feel living in Singapore compared to your research before?
The biggest difference for sure is that people told me it's going to be super expensive. It's one of the most expensive cities in the world. And I can honestly say, living there after 2 years, that Singapore can be very, very affordable. And the reason is, of course, you get very high options. Like if you shop on Orchard or if you have an omakase for $200, yes, it's expensive and you can go to very luxurious hotels. But for everything you do in your daily life, in my opinion, you can find a lower cost option. Let's say food. You can find hawker centers, which I wasn't expecting to be this cheap. You can find them in local dishes, which is very, very affordable.
Yeah.
And then, of course, public transport is very affordable. It's, it's $2 like for a day. And then I don't know, everything that you do, like also stuff like manicure, pedicure is way, way less expensive than I thought. So I was like positively surprised about how affordable you can live in Singapore if you make the right choices.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I really think Singapore, of course, Singapore is a modern city in the world, and then it's it's #1 GDP now per person in Asia. There are lots of rich people there, and then I think, yes, you can get very, very expensive services if you want to live in a fancy hotel, or you can rent a big boat, go onto the ocean. But for regular normal life, I think it's very affordable and it's very cheap, especially the food.
Yeah, and then you get wet markets, and I buy my fruits from like a street stall, like at Tanjung Pagar, which is like $1 for a mango, or like $2 for like a bunch of apples. So it's really not expensive if you know where to shop and where to go.
Exactly, totally. Like food is big thing. Like we all love to eat. In Canada, food is so expensive. One bowl of noodle is like $15 Canadian dollar.
Same
it's plus tax plus tip. We have to pay tip here. In Singapore, compare that, it's so cheap.
Yeah, taxes are very low in Singapore as well. And if you live as a resident in Singapore, the government has a lot of subsidies. For example, if you want to buy an HDB, or also for like healthcare, if you compare healthcare between Singapore and Switzerland, it's like half the price.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't think it has to be expensive.
Cool. Okay, so I did watch some of your videos, so I know that. I want to know, what was the main reason for you to choose stay in Singapore? So you were breaking up with a boyfriend, you were far away from your family, you were somewhere by yourself with no income. So what Singaporean magic kept you there?
It's very hard to explain. I mean, obviously I could talk for an hour about all the things I love about Singapore. But I think the minute I landed on Changi Airport in 2nd of November 2022, I fell in love with the city. And it is a feeling that only people who've experienced this with a city can relate to. It's just this feeling of I felt at home the minute I arrived. It is a combination of the weather, the convenience, the cleanliness. I'm very fascinated by the mix of very futuristic buildings, but then also culture, like Peranakan culture with the beautiful shop houses. I think in Singapore, I can find everything that I need to describe a high quality of life. And that may be different for a lot of different people. But for me, Singapore combines the best of both worlds.
Good. Yeah.
So this is a factor of like different things that come into place why I feel so at home in Singapore. But definitely now being back in Switzerland, freezing my ass off, it's definitely the weather. That gives me so much happiness. Every single day I wake up and everything is just easy when it's warm and when you can
I totally agree with you. I'm totally on your side. Like the moment I land back here, I feel, oh my goodness, why I'm living here? Yeah, I totally get it. So the moment you arrived, that's like,
I think when I drive over the bridge from the East Coast, like into the city, the first time in my life, I saw Marina Bay Sands and the Singapore Flyer. I mean, this view is like $1 million view already. I think there hit me.
Do you describe yourself as a city girl or a country girl?
Yes, for sure, I'm a city girl.
Oh, okay. That's why.
I need
Okay.
action all the time. I cannot live somewhere where nothing is going on. I really enjoy when there's a lot of opportunities and stuff going on. I'm a city girl for sure.
Okay. Then Singapore definitely fits you a lot. Yeah, for sure. So my third one will be, this is something like your first question, but not exactly. I'll ask in a softer way. If there's one thing you can make a change in Singapore, what would that be? Like if you have the power, if you are the president, if you are the prime minister of Singapore, you can change one thing. What are you going to change?
I would regulate air condition inside malls and stores to be less cold. This is really the only thing I struggle with, because sometimes when you go in a mall or like in a shop, it's really so freezing cold that you always need to bring a jacket. And then the temperature difference between outside and inside is so high. It's also not, I mean, I have friends, they are working in office jobs and they wear a down jacket because it's so freezing cold inside the office. And I just really think that this is nonsense. Like for the environment, it's not good. I don't like it because I'm freezing when I'm inside. I need to bring a jacket. So this is something that I would change about Singapore. Yeah,
that's a good point. Very good point. I totally get it. Like when you go to watch a movie, if you don't have a jacket, you're gonna be freezing there.
The cinema is the worst.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, good one. Okay, number 4, mine, right? Okay, how do you think you live there for 2 years now? I expect you to have some knowledge about the difference between Singaporean and Chinese. I'm talking about Chinese means the people from China, mainland China, Chinese, okay? So what do you see the relationship between Singaporean and Chinese? What they are in common, or what's the difference between them?
This is a very hard question. I don't think I can answer this question because I do have a lot of local friends, but I couldn't tell a difference between local Singapore. I don't think I can answer this question because I don't have any Chinese mainland. I've not experienced any cultural difference or something that would come to my mind that I found as significantly different.
Okay.
Maybe this is also because of our generation is very open-minded and maybe everyone is trying to blend in and adjust. But I don't think that I have anything that I can think of as a difference that I've come across.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Can I add a little bit on that? So this is one thing that is a lack of knowledge for Westerners to understand. A lot of Singaporeans actually, they don't like to be called Chinese, not because they are ethnic. It's because they are Singaporean. They don't like to be considered as Chinese, you know. And I used one of your video clip, like your street interview. You were interviewing a Chinese couple, I think, tourism in Chinatown. You were talking about what do you like, what do you don't like. Their English is not good, fine, but you know, you can tell they are very proud about being a Chinese.
China is better, she said.
Yes, right? So this is something I think is something not totally right. It should not be should be humble. You should like, and you didn't even ask them which country is better. You know?
Yeah, I didn't ask. Yeah.
They just put it up. You know, China is better. China is better than Singapore. So there are so many Chinese tourism having that mindset that they are the best in the world. They don't care about the car stop for you or anything. They care about the big buildings, how much money you can make. Yeah.
I think something that surprised me a lot is that a lot of locals who live in Singapore, they cannot speak Mandarin. I thought that most of the locals growing up in Singapore would still know how to speak Mandarin, but I think 90% of my local friends cannot speak any Mandarin.
Yeah, especially for the younger generation.
Yeah.
Even though they can't understand, they don't want to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing music with my friend's children's band, kids band, like they're in their 20s. I played one piece with them the day before I left Singapore last month. When I was practicing with them, communicating with them, they call me Uncle James because I'm the friend of their father. That's fair, but they understand Mandarin, but they would never speak that. They always just speak English. Mainly they speak English with me.
Yeah.
I just feel like Singapore is losing the language.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, that's something.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, just let you know, Singaporean are Singaporean, not Chinese. Their ethnic is Chinese, but they don't think they are Chinese. Okay, last question. Okay, I don't really have a serious question, so it's about you, okay? So when you're doing the street interview, who was holding the camera for you?
Oh, so if my mom is in town and here in Zurich today, I even recorded one with her, and she is my cameraman. And everyone, every time, all the other street interviews, I just ask a friend.
So you always go on the street to people?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the only time when I usually take someone to film. Otherwise, when I do my own videos, I always take my tripod. And then I record my tripod, or I just randomly ask people on the street, maybe, hey, sorry, can you help me like film this 3-second video from me in front of the temple?
Yeah.
It's mainly myself. Yeah.
Okay. So beyond that question, sorry about that. I'm breaking the laws. So I remember I see one episode you post has some behind the scene, like people reject you. So I'm just curious, how did you feel like doing street interview and then sometimes you got to reject, like you are a Western girl, you're a big girl, right? You're tall, right?
Well,
yeah. So like, do you feel awkward? Like, where did you get the gut to do that?
Something, I think it's just my character. I have this mindset that when I'm out and I'm with a lot of strangers, you know what? My main thought is, you know what, Marion? You're not going to see these people ever again. If they think you're weird, so what? They will not waste their time about thinking about another stranger. And another reason is when I'm on the street and get asked to get interviewed, or I see people interviewing, do I think, oh my God, this is so weird. Like, why are you doing that? I've never in my life thought this. So why would other people think? And again, even if they think so what? It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. And I think a person like you choose to live there by yourself, you must be having a very open-minded mindset. That's good. Great.
I think it's the same with the hate comments. And I get this question a lot, how I deal with hate comments on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say that they leave me cold. I mostly just laugh about it. I sometimes repost them to my Instagram stories, and then people tell me, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I apologize on behalf of Singapore because this is terrible. Don't listen to them." And I can really say honestly, these people are so sad, and I feel deeply sorry for people who have to leave a hate comment on someone else's video, which is like this one video that is going viral at the moment where it's me in the bus and it says POV 177 tall girl in Asia, and I hit my handle because I'm very tall. I hit my handle on the, in the bus, and just at 7 seconds, just fun video. I basically make fun of myself, and people are so rude. People are so mean. They say, "Are you stupid?" or like, "You stupid, go back to your country." Like,
oh my goodness, I'm Singaporean.
I don't know where that comes from. And this is just, I just think this is so sad if someone is so happy to leave this. So, thank you for the engagement. This is the reason why the video is going viral.
Yeah. If you don't like, just go to watch other videos. Don't watch mine.
Yeah, so I'm very happy. I think that really leaves me cold.
Nice. I feel like, okay, if you have that quality in you, you're gonna be good. Yeah. And because myself, I perform on stage since I was young, so I know no matter how hard you do, you're not going to please everyone. There's no chance you can make everybody happy, even superstar in the world. Somebody likes, somebody don't like. So, yeah, great. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me know if you want this video, and then if there anything happen once you go back to Singapore, maybe we can do this again while you're in Singapore.
Yeah, this is really super interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for this.
You're gonna post this on your channel?
Yes.
But in English?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for reaching out to me.
Yes, thank you for taking your time.
If you're in Singapore, let's catch up and go to
yeah, for sure. For sure. If I go again, if you are still there, hopefully you will.
Of course, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. I'll ask you to buy me a gobi bing.
Okay. I'll ask for some bingsu.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Good night. 都看到最后了，别急着走啊，给这个视频点个赞，让我知道你不只是一个过客。也请订阅一下我的频道，这样你就不会错过更多的分享。也欢迎在评论区留下你的足迹，来聊两句，哪怕吐槽也没事儿，让我们一起探讨。最后记得转发给朋友哦，让我们的声音传得更远。谢谢你的支持，我们下期再见。